now for Wild's Weird and Wonderful. Game 6 of the World Series tonight in Houston. Braves will need to silence the Astros bats if they want to win their first title since 1995 tonight. The champagne will be on ice. A wonderful night for some November baseball. KW, what else you got for us?
Oh, we'll start with the wonderful, Jenna. Magic in Minnesota. Rookie Franz Wagner from Michigan/Berlin comes around the screen and hammers a dunk. 2 of Franz's 28 points. Magic get their second win. And everybody, I am bailing on my earlier prediction that the Magic get the 8 seed. I am off of that prediction. I'm sorry. Update your ledgers. Moving on to the weird. Bulls in Boston. Former Celtic Javonte Green hits his head on the backboard. Celtics also hit their head on their franchise ceiling, which is a second-round exit. Bulls down 14 going in the fourth, win by 14. And finally, the wonderful Klay Thompson. Is he playing? No. Just doing more weird stuff. We've seen him in a kayak.
He is having such a blast.
We've seen him dressed as Larry Bird. We've seen him dressed with his dog. And now he's just jumping into the water. I don't think anybody wants to play basketball more and doesn't quite know what to do with his energy than Klay Thompson.
That's funny.
Steve Kerr, let's get this guy on the court. And that's the weird and wonderful from National Pastime.
That's fantastic. Really funny, Kevin. That was great. Time to run the no huddle and talking some big injury news now. Titans All-Pro running back Derrick Henry is undergoing foot surgery this morning. 6 to 10 weeks, the timeline for Henry. Meanwhile, in New Orleans, Sean Payton announcing it is a torn ACL for Jameis Winston. He will miss the remainder of the season. Tennessee signing future Hall of Famer Adrian Peterson to fill the void left by King Henry, while New Orleans seems to be staying in-house with Taysom Hill or Trevor Siemian under center. So, Broussard, what do you think is the bigger injury, Derrick Henry or Jameis Winston?
Well, Jenna, for me personally, I'm most devastated by Jameis going down. Look, on this show, it's been downright cruel. You guys have ribbed me, dogged me, mocked me day in, day out about my dark horse Jameis Winston MVP pick. Yeah, Jameis was about to make a run. Jameis was about to make a run. Look, he was 14 touchdowns, 3 picks. I mean, that was impressive. They were 4-2. He was about to make a run. You'll just have to trust me. We won't see it. You'll just have to trust me. But overall, the most significant injury is clearly Derrick Henry. I still think New Orleans can make the playoffs. This is a team clearly that's won based on their defense, based on their run game. And Taysom Hill, if he stays healthy, he can fit right into that and dink and dunk and have the running game going. So they could still make the playoffs if Taysom Hill's healthy. Derrick Henry, on the other hand, obviously the entire Tennessee team and offense in particular was built around him. Ryan Tannehill, I know you love him, Wilds. He was your MVP pick. He's a good quarterback. But until he linked up with Derrick Henry, he was viewed as a disappointment, and some might say a bust, but I'll just go disappointment. So I don't think he can carry this team on his arm without Derrick Henry. Now, they can still, Nick, you pointed out, they still can make the playoffs, but they had a chance to get to the Super Bowl, in my view. No longer have a chance at all. They are a playoff team at best.
Well, let's stay on this for a second, Broussard, because I think short term, it's more damaging for the Saints. I think long term, it's more damaging for the Titans, and I'll explain it. The Titans are in the playoffs, America. They have 4 games left against Houston, Jacksonville, and Miami. If they just go 3-1 in those 4 and lose everything else on their schedule, that's 9 wins. That would mean the Colts would have to go 7-2 the rest of the way. So the Titans will be there, and Broussard, there's an outside chance that Derrick Henry would be back for the playoffs. So the reason I said long-term it's worse for the Titans is you do worry, is this the start of the carries catching up to Derrick Henry? we keep talking about, oh my God, it's unprecedented. He has this many more carries than everyone, this many more yards than everyone. And so is this the first injury of what could be multiple? And I saw a story yesterday about how once you have a Jones fracture in one foot, you're far more likely to have it in the other foot. So that's a concern for the Titans long term, even though they will guaranteed be in the playoffs this year. But the reason I wanted to stay with you on this for a second on Taysom is you can't drink this Kool-Aid as well, man. Now, maybe the Saints, because of their defense, will be able to fight and claw and scratch into the playoffs because the NFC only has 5 really, really good teams. But what Jameis was doing really well was avoiding the awful play. And Taysom Hill, on a higher percentage than any quarterback in football, his plays end in a turnover or a sack. He can't avoid the awful play. He rarely makes the big play. To me, the Saints are dead in the water unless they go get Phillip Rivers. And again, 5-2, they might still be able to make the playoffs, but they've got no shot of doing anything with Taysom Hill as their quarterback. You believe that, right? You're not buying that Taysom Hill could be a legitimate quarterback in this game.
I don't think he's like a long-term answer at the position. But can they win games with him the rest of the season at quarterback? Sure. They were 3-1, Nick, last year. I get it. 2 of the wins were over your beloved Atlanta Falcons, who just aren't that good. All right. But still, they went 3-1 last year with him. He completed 70% of his passes, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Like I said, what they did with Jameis was cautious football. Do that with Hill. He'll add to the running game. I definitely think they can win games with him. No question about it.
All right, let's get back to KC now. Giants-Chiefs Monday Night Football. Big Blue had to burn a couple of timeouts in the first half after some communication issues, which Joe Judge explained after the game as part of an ongoing battle he's having with headsets. Take a listen to this.
Yeah, what happened on the timeouts there in the first half?
The headsets are going out. No, we're having headset issues. This happened in every game so far. So we deal with the league, and they keep telling us there's different software updates or whatever it is. But we had to call 2 timeouts today because we're trying to send the deals in personnel-wise, and you got half the headsets aren't getting a reception. Every single stadium this year, home and away, I've had issues personally.
Is that your staff?
Look, I don't know. Look, I don't want to make this all about headsets. We have things. I'd say this: whoever's in charge of it, whoever the guys who, look, Jordan, I don't know the exact answer. I don't know if that comes more through the league or us exactly, but they better fix it fast. Again, look, I don't want to make this about the stupid headsets. That's not what this is about. Yeah, I mean, that wasn't the factor in the game. We got to do other things on our own to make sure we have success.
Wilds, your guy, Joe Judge, the gift that keeps on giving this season. Spent a lot of his post-game time blaming malfunctioning headsets for the Giants' timeout issues. What'd you make of it all?
Oh my goodness gracious. Here's what I make out of it. If you are from the Belichick coaching tree, the one thing that no one takes away is you don't need to say anything to the media. You can just get up there and say, what was the issue with the timeouts? We lost the game. That's the issue. You don't have to say anything. Brian Flores, you don't need to talk about Deshaun Watson at all. You don't have to talk about your headsets at all. And then try to admonish some nefarious person that is in your messing up your headsets. It's week 8. They better get it quick. They better get it fixed quickly. It's week 8, dude. Season's halfway over. Broussard, if I'm late to the show and I say, look, I got a tire issue. Nick Wright has been slashing my tires. He's slashed my tires for 8 weeks. I don't want to make it about Nick slashing my tires. Don't make it about Nick slashing my tires. We're going to make it about Nick slashing tires. It's an excuse. The guy, look, I come out every day for the last 8 weeks and I see 4 pocket knives in my tires. But that's not what it's about. Broussard, this is mind-boggling to me that Joe Judge has not taken another page from Bill Belichick's book and said absolutely nothing.
I'm going to give you love, Wilds. You are a bigger man than Joe Judge. because you don't come on national television. You haven't even done this in a Zoom meeting that we have after the show. And you have microphone issues like twice a week, at least, maybe 3 times. You have yet to say, it's the microphones. It's the microphones. I don't know what's going on. We've talked to, Fox. They got to get these mics right. You accept that. I keep hitting my mic. It's my